Another day, and it's another commitment for the Alabama Crimson Tide in this 2026 recruiting class. As Alabama remains on fire on the recruiting front. This time, they have picked up a commitment from 2026 wide receiver Owen Cabell out of Nashville, Tennessee. Goes to Christ Presbyterian Academy in Nashville. He becomes the Tide's 15th commit here in this 2026 class. Their first wide receiver pledge. As it looks as if the Crimson Tide would like to add a good group of wideouts here in this 2026 cycle. As always, I am Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting Managing Editor here at Touchdown Alabama. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the notification bell, be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. Unlike the last couple of commits that the Crimson Tide recently picked up, guys like Xavier Crowell, guys like Xavier Griffin, those are guys that the Crimson Tide have been working on for years in terms of getting them on campus, offering them, and just continuing to build their relationships with them. Unlike Cabell, Cabell is a guy who the Crimson Tide made a strong push for within the last month or so. He got an offer from the Crimson Tide when he impressed at one of Alabama's first camps of the summer earlier in June. I think it was in that late May, early June range. Really impressed, and he got that offer. And it looked as if the Crimson Tide continued to trend from that point. They got him on campus later on in the month for an official visit. His recruitment and Alabama's push for him is very similar to the push that they made for Zay Hall, the 2026 linebacker at Tuscaloosa, who they got a commitment from. But in terms of Cabell and what he brings to the table, you could tell why the Crimson Tide extended an offer to him. First off, they extended the offer to him at camp because he ran a 4.4 40, and he's 6'3" and 200 pounds. He's a guy for his current high school. He makes plays in a lot of different ways. He can make a play as a returner, as your guys are going to see on this play here. But he's a guy who's at 6'3". He can run nice routes. So he's one of the more impressive guys with the football in his hands. When you watch his film, it's probably the thing that's going to stand out the most is his ability to make plays and just be a dynamic playmaker when the football is inside of his hands. He's going to be a guy on this next play here. He's going to be able to create some separation and be able to take the top off of a defense. I think he's able to do that really well. So he can't scratch the field with that 4.4 40 speed, but I think you're going to consistently see him get the football like on this bubble screen type of screen here, where he's going to get the football, he's going to be able to work up the football field after the catch. So his ability to make plays after the catch is going to be consistently shown when you watch his film. He's going to flash the ability to get behind the defense as well with that speed, with that 4.4 40 speed, and also sub 11 meter dash time on the track. Whenever I talk about a guy that can do that, I always says, hey, you're fast if you can do that. And usually that type of speed translates over to the football field. So it does with Cabell and so many of the other top prospects here in this 2026 recruiting class. Crimson Tide now have their first wide receiver pledge. They want to add several wide receivers here in this 2026 class. The wide receiver groups in each recruiting class are typically pretty nice size. Looking at probably in that 3 to 4 range in most recruiting cycles. Sometimes you may get two guys if you got a loaded roster, but with the porter and everything, I think 3 to 4 is going to be kind of like the consistent number the Crimson Tide take care over the next couple of recruiting cycles. But pulling in Cabell today, still have the eyes on guys like Sadarian Morgan, who will announce his commitment on July 2nd. That's the one that we're going to take a close look at. But Alabama continues to go after these long wide receivers, adding a guy like Cabell. If you can possibly add a guy like Sadarian Morgan, you added Derek Meadows. You look at your current roster right now. It's a good mix of guys who are guys who have length, and guys who are a little bit more shorter on the shorter side, like guys like Jeremy Bernard. Also guys like Lazille Brooks. Lazille Brooks probably one of the more shorter options, of course, Cole Adams. So you have a good mix in Alabama's roster right now, that wide receiver position, in terms of different sizes and different skill sets. And it looks as if the Crimson Tide want to continue to make that a huge part of their wide receiver room. It looks as if they're going to more so go after a lot of long guys here in this 2026 cycle. But I expect them to at least land one of those more shiftier type of wide receivers like a Lazille Brooks. But like I said, Cabell fits more of that role of being that long wide receiver who can stretch the field and be productive after the catch. Most recruiting sites, like I said, have him rated as a 3-star recruit. But that will do it here for our YouTube channel. Continue to stay updated here as the Crimson Tide continue to stay on a roll here on the recruiting trail in this 2026 recruiting class. We'll keep you updated on our YouTube channel as well as on our site. As always, I am Justin Smith, Director of Recruiting Managing Editor here at Touchdown Alabama. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today.